I will be broadcasting in just a minute for anybody that's in here. I'm just going to put this out on Twitter real quick. Alrighty. We'll wait for a few people to come in. All right, still no viewers. All right. Let's see here. Let's see here. Alrighty. Well, we got one viewer. Maybe somebody will hear me. I don't know if you saw the title of this. It's called An Apology. Something happened to me last night in regards to my backing of a particular comic. And it was a little disappointing. So I'm not going to say what comic I backed or who it was that disappointed me. But about a month ago, I saw this comic on Kickstarter, and I said, you know what? This looks like a really cool comic. I like the art. The premise was real fun, and it seemed like it was going to be something really cool. So I really started getting into it. I tweeted it out a lot. I backed it myself. I put in 25 bucks and I tweeted it out a lot and I really pushed it. And I still think it looks like a good comic and I'm not pulling my backing from it. So I pushed it and I defended it to other people who said, "Oh, you know what? The art's not really my thing." And they were trying to put it down. I said, "Well, you know what? It's not always everybody's thing. Not every comic has to be the same. Not every comic has to be Watchmen, that kind of thing." I said, "It still looks like a lot of fun. I'm not going to tell you what to do. For me, it was okay. It was something I liked." So I enthusiastically promoted this comic. Nobody asked me to. I'm not asking for praise. I'm not asking for thank yous, anything like that. I just thought that it was a lot of fun, and I really liked pushing it, and I really liked I liked the fact that I backed it. So they reached their funding, and it was great. They got all the money they needed to make the comic. Good to go. So today, I got a notice on Facebook that one of the writers of this comic he posted something in his status, and his status basically. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Uh, his status was, and I'll read the whole thing. Uh, I've been getting a lot of strange friend requests recently, so if you're new to my feed, let's just clarify some things that will get you instantly unfriended without mercy. If you support diversity in comics or Richard Meyer or his mindless drones in any sort of fashion, we aren't friends and we never will be. If you support any kind of hate group, we aren't friends and go F yourself because I don't have time for your BS. If you were just friending me to like your pages or your work in comics, I may be interested, I may not be, but please ask first. Don't be offended if it's not for me, but if you're offended, you can see yourself out. There are a few more, but they're more of a case by case basis. Basic human interaction rule: just don't be an asshole and treat others with respect. You'll be just fine, thanks. And there's another part. Most of this is fine. Uh, he doesn't like diversity in comics, so I'm going to assume certain things about what he considers a hate group. I wouldn't assume it publicly. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to say what the comic is. If you want to know, if you listen to this later and you want to know, feel free to send a message to my DMs, and I'll be happy to tell you. That I know I just said, you know, the diversity in comics thing didn't bother me, but I'm going to read that part again because everything else, I'm not going to make any assumptions of who's been trying to, you know, friend him on Facebook or whatever. I'm not going to make any public assumptions about what he considers a hate group. Specifically, he says if you support diversity in comics or Richard Meyer or his mindless drones in any sort of fashion, we aren't friends and never will be. I don't have to be friends with everybody. I happen to be a friend on Facebook, and you all know what that means. The fact that he basically says here, this wasn't a personal message to me. This was a public message. The fact that he calls followers of diversity in comics mindless drones, supporting in any sort of fashion, mindless drones, really kind of stuck in my craw. So, all right, I'm not going to pull backing on the book. I've already put the money in. There are at least two other guys. They probably have letterers and stuff like that. So there's at least two or three other guys that, to my knowledge, have never said anything like this. It's just one person on the team who thinks I'm a mindless drone. Thinks all of us that support diversity in comics or watch diversity in comics or don't call him a Nazi are mindless drones. Like I said, I'm not going to pull backing on this comic. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I want to issue an apology. If you have backed a book based on my recommendation in the last month and you think this is the book that you backed, I want to sincerely apologize. I had no idea that this guy felt this way about people who like diversity in comics. Essentially, that's what I want to get to. I think from here on out, most of the books that I'm going to back are going to be straight up Comicsgate books. With a few exceptions. There are some people I know who I'm friends with on Twitter that don't like to be lumped with Comicsgate. I think basically we think the same way. They just really don't like the title attached to them or whatever their personal feelings are. That I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm not going to stop being your friend. I'm not going to stop supporting your work. But for me, from here on out, I don't think it's worth the risk supporting these books from somebody who's going to call me a mindless drone. So again, if in the last month you've backed a book because of my recommendation, and you think this is the book, the one that I just talked about, then I want to sincerely apologize. And I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm not going to publicly out what book it was or who the writer was. Uh, Thank you very much, and y'all have a good day.